In this video, I'm going to talk about how I create animations for my Instagram Reels, leveraging Claude and Higgsfield. So step one, I usually have an idea. An idea can be from an article that I read or something specifically that I'm working on. So a lot of my content is around AI agents, building AI agents, AI automation, and tools. And once I have that idea, I straight go into Claude. So Claude will go ahead and write me the script. And once Claude has written the script for me, it will then go ahead and design the storyboard. And that storyboard is going to be animated a very specific way because I've already showed Claude different images and styles of what I would like my content to look like. Once that is completed and I approve the storyboard and the script, then next up, Claude will then leverage Higgsfield. So Higgsfield is a system or an AI service that has all the image generation models under one roof. The idea here is that Claude gives the instructions, leverages Higgsfield. Higgsfield then draws the scenes and then animates them, gives them back to Claude. Claude will then get that information, put it all together, do all the editing, and ultimately give you a final product that you can post. So I'll be leveraging a video that I just shared recently on my Instagram, and I will walk you through step by step. So before you get started with the animations, you want to make sure you have an account with Higgsfield.ai. So you want to go to Higgsfield.ai, and then you want to go to MCP and CLI. So this is where you're going to get your instructions on how to connect Higgsfield to Claude. So at the very bottom here, when you scroll down under MCP, you'll see Claude. And then these are basically the instructions that you would take to connect Higgsfield to Claude. Want to sign up first, make sure you've signed up separately, and then come to this section under MCP and CLI, copy this link, and then go ahead into the Claude settings, connectors, paste this link in. It's going to ask you to sign in again, and then that's what will give Claude access to your Higgsfield account. Once you have that completed, you should then be able to follow the process. So let me walk you through that step by step. So when you're in Claude, you want to go ahead and click your name, and then you want to go to settings, just as the instructions said on the website. And then once you click settings, you're going to go ahead and scroll down to connectors. And then within connectors, here is where you can click customize. This is where you're going to be able to browse and add the Higgsfield connector. Now, already mine is in here, so I don't have to add it. But if you had not connected this, you would then click this little plus button here, click your add custom connector, and then this is where you would type in Higgsfield, and then this is where you would put in that link that was on the website. Once you've added these two, you click add, it's going to automatically ask you to sign in, and once you sign in, you will then be able to have Higgsfield connected right here and showing as active in your account. So from step one, where we talked about having an idea, this step here is now getting that idea into Claude. So this is the prompt that I ran to give Claude an idea of what I was looking for. I wanted the video to be about Hermes, the AI agent that I built with some of my tech stack, and how I'm using that to find customers and automate a lot of those processes to start making money with the AI agent. And Claude actually helped me write this. I just kind of in Claude chat, I put my ideas together. I put a little reference image of what I was looking for, and then Claude gave me this prompt. Now, this whole process, I actually run it in Claude Cowork because it saves this process so I can continue to repeat it. It remembers what we talked about, and I created a special project where basically it runs the same thing over and over again. Claude also has access to my G Drive where I put a lot of my ideas, so it can actually get those ideas, pull those ideas from my G Drive, and then start creating prompts for me as well, which then I feed ultimately into this idea pipeline. So this was the prompt. It was fairly long. And basically what Claude did is it got that information and basically said, okay, sounds good. This is a Hermes space lane, so I will start working on this pipeline right away. And as you can see, we talked about the next step is then it connecting to Higgsfield and generating that storyboard. And this is the storyboard that it generated with ChatGPT image 2. And this storyboard basically helps really tell the story of what we're going to animate for. So I reviewed this and I was happy with it. You can actually download it and see it in a much larger font if you want to. I like the idea, I like the visuals, I like the color that was generated. So after that, I just gave it a thumbs up. I said, yep, that storyboard looks great. Let's go ahead and animate the scenes based off of that storyboard. So once the storyboard was rendered, the next decision then was, do you want to record a voiceover or do you want us to just run it with music only? And I said, I'll go ahead and do my voiceover while you continue to create our scenes. And so that's what it did. It started putting all the panels together, created about 9 panels. I told it I like the panels. Now generate the script for me for the voiceover. And then Claude generated the 9 keyframes using Higgs field again. And then here's the first image. Here's the second one. Here's the third one, and so on and so forth. And these are all the different. Think of them as like the different scenes that were created by Higgs field with Claude prompting. Then finally, Claude gave me the script. So these are the 9 lines that it gave me for the script. And obviously, I've prompted it to make sure that these don't sound AI-like and sounds like my voice, keeping it very simple because that's my main focus is teaching people how to use these tools in the simplest way. So once the script was put together, very short, only 9-line items, I went ahead and just recorded it. I was using the Windows recorder. I was then able to go ahead and let Claude start putting this all together. So there's the animated first scene. The first scenes we saw were just the actual images. Now these are the animated ones. So once you click the little play button here, you can actually see the animation. So Claude went ahead with Higgs field. Higgs field started generating the animations. So once the keyframes and animations were completed by Higgs field, Claude then would ask you to download those scenes onto your local drive so that it can access them. And usually what Claude will do is that it will give you a code that you can open in this notepad, copy that code, and then put it into something, then put it into PowerShell. So if you can't pull it from that code, you can always just say, give me the PowerShell code to run, and it'll give it to you. So basically what this code does is it downloads all the assets from the Higgs field server and then saves them on your actual computer so that then Claude can access them. So Claude can download from Higgs field, but it can access your computer. Obviously, this is Claude Cowork. So that's how it's able to see the animated scenes. So once you copy this code, you want to go into your search bar here and you can type in PowerShell. And this is the system that you're looking for. Once you click in here, PowerShell will open up. And within PowerShell, you just want to go ahead and paste the command or that code that it gave you. And then boom, it starts right away. It starts downloading all those visuals. So once those visuals are done downloading, Claude already knows what folder this is going to be saved in. So all you need to do is go right back into Claude and say done. And then once Claude sees that, it goes into that folder and looks for the actual assets to then put everything together. The last piece that I want to talk about here is the voiceover, and I'll scroll up just a little bit. If you see on this section right here, after I read the script and recorded it, I attached the voiceover into Claude. I just pasted it in here and I said, here's the attached voiceover, cut out the retakes from this 26 seconds to 44 seconds. And then Claude responded, got it, the voiceover, let me check the clips that landed and let me start processing it and cutting out the scenes you talked about and making sure I added natural treatment to it. So Claude can actually enhance the voiceover as well, which was something new that I learned when I was kind of running through this a few times. So once Claude has that all done for you, and here's my reply where I clicked done, because it says reply done once they're in the folder, and I'll assemble the reel. So this is the magic. This is where Claude now does everything. So our video is done, our voiceover is done. I mean, our script was already created by Claude. It's all been put together. Now, once I typed in done, Claude then basically took it from there. It put in some music. It put in some high, low sections. It made sure my voiceover was not being affected by background noise. and really just put all the pieces together. And ultimately, this was done. And once it was done, took a couple of seconds, but once it was all done, Claude then showed me the folder where the video was saved. And this is the final version. Meet Hermes, your AI sales operator. She finds the right creators and founders to reach, then digs up their public information, website, contact page, and email. She pulls their brands and builds a custom teaser, a free ready-to-watch sample video. Saves it to a client folder and grabs a shareable link. Then sends a short personal email. Made this for your brand. Want the full version? The replies turn into paid packages. Research, teaser, send, reply, close. An AI sales operator that runs your outreach and makes you money. So to summarize the entire process into a high-level visual, the entire process is really broken down into three key pieces. One, it starts with me and having an idea or referencing an idea from another creator that maybe has a concept that I like, and then leveraging my own voice to record the voiceover, and then doing a lot of the approvals as Claude that takes on the next steps. What Claude does is Claude writes the script, Claude designs the storyboard, and then edits and does the final gathering of all the sources and putting them together. Claude leverages Higgsfield to actually get the scenes drawn, get the scenes animated, and add music if needed, to then ultimately put together a nice visual representation of what you're trying to put together, a nice visual reel for your Instagram or YouTube or social media as a whole. So hopefully you learned something from today's video. Please leave a like and a comment and follow for more tips. I'm going to be continuing to talk more about how we can leverage Claude, and more specifically how we can build AI agents to automate a lot of the work that you do, and ultimately leverage that to maybe start a business and help others in this AI space that we're all tackling at the same time. So hope to see you on the next one. Take care for now.